Let's talk about the importance of how managing your money really can change your life. So in this video, let's go over budgeting, investing, taxation, and just sort of managing your money overall. Because seriously, how you manage your money, no matter how much you earn, really is going to change your life and change your lifestyle, which is why I put it on this channel and not my finance channel. So most of you probably already know I do have another channel that's primarily a finance channel where I talk about my investing and I do some research and show you how I've built up my portfolio over there. I've decided to put this video on this channel because I wanted to have a little bit more of an informal chat about why managing your money and why becoming financially literate is so important and how it really can change your life. So managing your money isn't a skill that we learn in school. It's not something that comes sort of naturally to people. We're kind of just thrown out into the world and here's your paycheck, here's how much your bills are going to cost. Most people have a really hard time at first trying to juggle where they got to put their money, if they've got to save some, if they're going to invest or not. So it's really common when you're younger not to actually have a great deal of idea of what you're going to do with your money. I do feel younger people do have it a little better today because there's so much more resources and information and education out there, but there's still so many people out there that aren't managing their money correctly, because even on a low income you can really make some great financial strides in your life. It really doesn't matter how much you're earning. Sure, it's going to be harder if you're earning less than if you're earning more, but there's just as many people on higher incomes that have much more debt because they think they can afford it and are not doing quite as well. A lot of it can be an illusion. Now, budgeting is where most people should start because it really is just recording the amount of money that you have coming in and the amount of money that's going out. That's pretty much how I do a budget. I don't make it incredibly strict. What I like to do is what I call a tracking budget. So I'm just tracking what money is coming in and what's going out. You can do this in an app, you can do this in a spreadsheet, you can do this in a journal. It really doesn't matter. Some people prefer doing it digitally, some people don't. Try a few methods out and see what sticks. But this is how I do it. So once a week, usually on a Monday afternoon, I'll go through my credit card statement, usually because I use my credit card for buying everything, mostly because I can have a record of the things that I've bought. It's just easier. It's really rare for me to actually have cash on hand. So having a credit card is mainly what I use to just track my spending. And every Monday, I'll just go through and add it to my spreadsheet. I use a spreadsheet. So I keep my categories fairly broad. One is groceries, there might be entertainment or takeout. Sometimes it's just business expenses. I keep the categories pretty broad. I just want an overview of where my money is going. And if I received any money that week through dividends or through any other passive income means, I will also record that. On that Monday, I also pay off my credit card in full, so I do that every single week. And I'm just keeping a track on where my money is going and what I'm spending it on. What this does is it keeps me really mindful about where my money is going, and if I happen to overspend, I know that I need to cut back. I'm not restrictive in that I can only spend X amount of dollars in this category, although that works for some people. I have a rough idea of how much I'm going to spend each month. Sometimes it goes over, sometimes I'm well under. But as long as I'm keeping track over time of what I'm spending and what income is coming in, I can pretty much keep on top of it. So after you work out a budget that works for you, the next step is to work out how you're going to make your money work for you. It's so great getting money from a job or other means, but it's even better when you start getting money through interest on your savings, interest from investments, and so on. Money that's working for you. And this is how most people get ahead. So saving, most people understand the importance of saving, although usually most people don't really know how much they should be saving. They don't know if there's a percentage of their income they should be saving. I'm not really one for percentages, although I do encourage people to save as much as possible. Now, the first thing you might want to start saving for is an emergency fund. Just having that extra buffer in case something happens. Maybe you get sick and can't work, or you need extra money for something that's gone wrong in your home or car or something like that. Having an emergency fund means that you're not going to dip into, say, a credit card or something to pay for those extra expenses that you weren't expecting. There's lots of different arguments on how much you should put into your emergency fund. Some people say 3 months, some people say 12 months. Now, this is going to depend a lot on where you live, your lifestyle, how much things cost, and things like that. And it also depends on, do you have insurance that can cover the costs of things? I think a 3-month buffer is actually a really good starting point, but that's also going to depend on the the type of work you do and your lifestyle as well. So just have a really good look at your lifestyle, the types of jobs. So if you have a job that's kind of cyclical, you might need more money in your emergency fund, but if you have a job that's pretty stable, you might need less. It really depends. But anyway, once you start building up your savings, now you can figure out what to do, because even though interest rates are rising, there's still quite a way to go. You don't earn a huge amount of money on interest from savings accounts, which is unfortunate. So you've got to think about where else you're going to put your money. But before we get into investing, let's quickly talk about taxation. I am not going to get into a huge amount on taxation because I'm not an accountant and I'm not an expert, but you just need to be aware of what the taxation rates in your country is, how much you're going to be taxed on your salary or whatever income that you have coming in. My main income source is dividends. So a lot of the dividends I buy are franked, which means the company tax rate has already been paid, which is great for me. But I have other sources of income as well that I have to be mindful of. If you just have a salary, it's going to be a lot more straightforward because usually they take out the right amount of tax if the company is doing the right thing. And if the company is paying you right, you will probably get a small refund as well. But just be aware of the taxation rates in your country, and if you have like a side job or a side hustle, if you have to keep some money aside according to what your tax rate is going to be. So that's just something to be aware of. And let's talk about investing, my favorite topic, because it's something I kind of know a little bit about. I started investing when I was a lot younger, and I've been able to build up my portfolio to an amount where I can now live off the dividends, which is awesome. I've been through stock market crashes, I've been through highs, lows, you name it. I've had good stocks, bad stocks, and I've learned a lot over the years. Now, since I'm primarily an income investor or a dividend investor, I'm looking for companies that pay good dividends because I need the money to live off. But there's many ways you can invest in the stock market. You can just invest with an exchange traded fund or an index fund. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of companies and do research. You can keep it pretty simple. A lot of people are scared of the stock market because I feel like sometimes the news and other media makes it seem much more scary than it is. And that's because day to day it can be quite volatile. But if you look at the picture, if you look at graphs over a long term, say 5-10 years, it pretty much smooths out. And most companies do go up over the long term. That's not to say that every company will, but if you're choosing strong, solid companies that have a good track record, the risk is a lot lower than if you choose, say, a small company that's just emerged out of nowhere. Now, I've never had a job that has paid huge amounts of money. I've only invested small amounts over a long period of time. So time really was the factor that built my portfolio. They do say the stock market doubles every 7 years, and that's probably about true. And if you look at the wealthiest people in the world, most of them do invest in the stock market, although a lot of them have also built up and made money through businesses. So that's another way. Side hustles and businesses are a great way to earn extra income, but make sure you're doing something with that income as well. So it doesn't matter if you are starting out and you're not ready to invest yet, or you're starting out and just want to start budgeting. Learning how to manage your money really is a skill that is going to help you so much in the future. It's going to take you from living paycheck to paycheck and not knowing what's going to happen in the future to being able to be a lot more financially free because you'll be able to plan. And I know planning for your future sounds so boring, especially when you're younger. But seriously, starting investing in my 20s was the best decision I've ever made because now I don't have to work. I mean, I still do because I enjoy it. I now have that peace of mind knowing that those dividends are going to cover all my bills. That's not to say that you need to invest. You may find another way of managing your money that works great for you. And that's really the point, because you really want to find a way that makes that your money can work for you. And that might be a new business, that might be investing, that might be just finding a really high interest savings account as interest rate goes up. We can dream. And you don't even have to invest just in the stock market. You can invest in property. You can invest in other things. Investing in property is another really popular way. I've never done it, but I think it'll be a really fun way to start earning extra income. I just like the stock market because I'm kind of lazy and it's just easy. I don't have to do anything else. So learning to become financially literate and managing your money is really going to change your life for the better. And of course, the reason we have money in the first place is to improve our lifestyles. And isn't it the point? We want to live a nice, comfortable life. Well, I do anyway. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's inspired you to get your finances in order and start a budget, start saving, and maybe even start investing. I'll be doing some more lifestyle content in the next video. Anyway, have a lovely day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.